Galactic Historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. A Galactic Historian goes to each and every line of dramatic karma and lives in soul family with everyone, so they see the big picture of all of the karma that's going on in a local part of the universe.
The infrastructure of potential was there. You still had to connect the dots and use a series of free will expressions to get you there. There are also a number of people, the karmic doors closed them off to so much. All that was left was this Galactic Historian guy on the internet. People who listened to the Galactic History 1 and within a year went back to sleep because the world turned to be really shitty and no one woke up. None of the predictions happened. I understood as a higher soul that being in this time with the perceptive nature of the human I could be, attracting people to the material that a person had to open the door with.
Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into reality. I'm your host, Andrew Bartzis, the Galactic Historian. Today is an open call-in show. I am joined today by my intrepid co-hosts, David Ellis and Amy Kruzik. Welcome to the show, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, everybody.
I'm doing good today.
Yeah.
So this is a open call-in show. We got people waiting here, but a reminder, everyone, the first hour of the show is live. The second hour will be a member show. So if you are not a member and want to be a part of the second hour of the show, you can go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, and sign up to be a member. When you sign up to be a member, you'll get all of our Sunday webinars for free. It's the special offer that we are doing. And with that said, we are going to open up the first caller. We're going to, Joel, give Amber a signal to unmute. Amber, are you there?
Wait, hello?
Hi, Amber. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
How have things been since we talked last?
I have been working really hard every day on myself and trying to purify my dream world, and I'm going to try to maybe with Dale to get a reading to help me with the entities and stuff like we talked with last time.
Yeah, I remember. It's been what, about a month since we talked?
I've been working hard, but it seems like I'm still having some disturbing dreams, and I went to a float tank and it flushed some things out again, and I feel like I'm just spiritually digesting a lot of things that I didn't deal with a long time ago. We've had a change at my house. Someone recently passed away in March that was very abusive to me, so I feel like I'm finally coming back to myself.
Yeah, but the core issues are still the core issues of what's going on with you. You know, yeah. You had a number of things pretending to be positive entities that weren't. David, do you remember Amber?
Yes, I remember Amber. How's that entity that was attached to you?
I think I hit it out. I did some light language. After the float tank, it was some weird red ginger thingy with hands, and I think I got it out.
What does that mean? You think? What does that mean?
I'm not exactly sure. I like the invisible world is still kind of mysterious to me, but I don't feel like there's anything there. But
Okay. So when you say you're still having dreams, what does that mean? What kind of dreams? Describe them to us.
There's some like severed heads, and I'm cutting my cat's head off, or like I'm in my old house and someone's trying to get in the door to like rape me, or some other ones. Those are the recent ones.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? How do you feel?
I feel like I feel safe, but then I get more of the old flashbacks come and I try to transmute it emotionally, and I have been crying, I've been releasing, but it's going to be a work in progress. You know, you can't digest your entire life in 1 month.
Oh, no, we're going to try to do it in one show. So let's try it this way. I'm going to go through a range of emotions and you tell me how do they fit in your life. Anger. Who are you angry at?
I'm angry at my father, the person, and the other person who used to live here that used to make me clean up their messes. I'm mad at people who won't defend me. I never was represented by anyone. No one came to help me. I had to do everything myself, growing up myself, learning to defend myself in the dream world myself.
Okay. The last time Go ahead.
I have two people inside me, the warrior lady and then the young lady who's more soft and stuff.
Okay, let's go through another emotion. Fear. What are you scared of?
Maybe just like not knowing if I'm gonna have another bad dream. Or maybe there's some things I want to do with my life too, but I'm unsure. But I was gonna have maybe a reading with Andrew in the future to talk about those issues.
Okay, that's fine. What and who do you love?
I love my boyfriend. I love my art. I love the animals that live here. I love nature. I love my spirit guides. I love the earth.
Okay, so let's put that together, shall we? What is your main problem right now in your life?
I feel like it's my mind. I keep getting like old emotions that pop up and they kind of trip me up in the day when I'm trying to evolve, I guess. And I feel like they're stubborn and letting go. I am having a hard time letting them go.
Why?
There's energy. I feel like I never got closure with these people that hurt me.
What is the closure that you're seeking from a dead man?
I just want them to know that they hurt me a lot and I don't deserve that shit.
Okay, so you're in an active relationship trying to contact the dead in your dreams? Is that what's happening?
Not necessarily. The entities are more that they've been feeding on me since I was a kid. And the daily life stuff is just like the old emotional garbage, I guess, that I'm trying to make sense of in my mind.
How old are you, Amber?
I am 31.
Amber, you have your whole life ahead of you. Why are you living in the past?
I feel like I have been never in a space that was truly mine, and that I've been kind of like going through everything like my entire life. I had to deal with my mom's death, my father's death, my grandma's death, my dog's death, and then getting rid of abusive tenants. Then I had this guy, and then I had school, then I had my psychic powers, then I had the dreams, and so it's like never stopping. So this is the one time I'm actually have the space to digest everything.
So are you talking about processing? Because you don't seem to be processing very well. My question is, let me just ask the question. why can't you just let these things go and move on with your life if you have a boyfriend and you have things to look forward to?
I just don't want think if something happens and then some someone does something to you, I just don't want I just want the other person to know that I didn't deserve that, and stuff like that. Like they get off scot-free, they're dead. I don't know.
Okay, so you know that you can't, unless you're doing and you deliberately, you're in a relationship with dead people. You are. You are in a relationship with dead people because you want that dead person to know something. So I'm guessing that your subconscious is actively reaching out. You're having abusive dreams where you're cutting off your cat's head. Okay?
Yes.
The cat has done nothing to you. So you're having dreams where you're actually the bad person. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've had mixed dreams where I've been the bad person, and then mixed dreams where I've been the victim, quote unquote. But I wake up and I stop it, usually.
You wake up and you stop it. Do you like having those dreams? Yes or no?
They're a waste of my potential because I can actually summon light language in my dreams and make great things.
How much are you sleeping, Amber?
I sleep about 8 hours.
You sleep about 8 hours and you have dreams nonstop. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, what are you doing in your life right now that may be promoting those dreams? I'm going to ask you to analyze it. I'm not going to analyze it.
I'm trying to come to terms with who I am now and who I was and who I want to be in the future, and with the projects I have and stuff, and how I want to live and be. And
Okay. Let's not be vague. Why don't you tell me? Who do you want to be in the future?
I want to be a great artist that can kind of like experience God through my art and in my everyday life, and have my own house. And I'm very simple. I want a poodle, and I want to travel a little bit. I don't want a lot.
Okay. So it's not simple. It's a lot. So what is stopping you from doing that right now?
Right now, I'm working on the art part. I'm organizing everything. I have some books I've kept on the shelf for a long time. With the housing part is right now I live with a very nice old man, and if we leave, he's kind of like shit out of luck. And right now with rent and how everything's going, it actually makes more sense financially for us to stay here. Plus, I have an entire house to myself, but it's full of his junk. So it's like good, but not the best.
So you have reasonable rent, which is awesome, and you have everything that you need. What have you done? Because you're speaking vague, and I'm trying to nail you down to concrete terms. What have you done to promote your art?
Right now I'm working on a art show in December. I've been a part of it for a few years, and I've won a few times as best artist. I'm making pieces for it and designing my space currently. It takes a few months to get everything ready.
How are you going to monetize your art?
It's in a bid room, so it's basically you bid on it, you put up all the prices and stuff, and
What kind of art do you do?
I have two types of art. I have the art that I sell, which is mainly like fantasy animals, and then I have another type of art which is like story based art and Arcturian based art.
I have an idea. Why don't you create an art form around painting those dreams and nightmares?
Okay.
Have you thought of that?
Um, kind of. I take a lot from my dreams and put into my art. I that's very woven into what I draw.
Do you think other people might want the same skill set that you have?
Probably.
Ah, so you have a way of marketing yourself that's a little bit different.
It's I have like this thing in my brain that connects to the dream world and when I'm awake. So it's like a kind of little bridge I have. I
I'm
use
going, I'm going to ask you a few other questions. Have you done any form of substance of any kind in your
uh
life?
the only substance was I was on Ritalin as a kid, and then I sometimes take edibles and like a mushroom trip maybe once every 2 years.
Okay. How many edibles do you take? They're THC
Uh,
edibles, correct?
they are CBD and THC, and they're 5 mg each.
Okay. How many edibles are you taking?
One usually every 4 days.
Okay. And you're taking it for what reason?
Sometimes I like to just give myself space to relax and kind of like feel my emotions and stuff. And it helps me delve deeper into my abilities sometimes.
Okay.
What is your food eating like?
My
Mm.
food,
Eating of food.
um, I usually drink a lot of coffee and I eat. My boyfriend, I sure to eat all my vegetables and stuff. Like this morning, I had eggs with some spring greens and tomatoes, and then for lunch, I had a wrap with lettuce, tomato, onion, and chicken in it. And I'm gonna have dinner tonight. I have
How
some.
many meals do you how many meals in a week do you skip?
I usually don't skip any, but I do eat. I don't eat a lot in the morning.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 100. I don't usually weigh myself, but I assume I'm like 110 to 120 pounds.
No, you're not that big.
I'm also 5'3 3/4".
Yeah, you're closer to 100 pounds. I've seen you on video before. You're not 120.
Oh, I didn't know.
You're 100 pounds.
Yeah, 105, 108 at most.
Okay. So you're an artist. You're 105 pounds. You are plagued by past emotions. You're having trouble processing. You're using your art for the most part to process some of the stuff that you're doing. And your main problem is emotions keep coming back. Can I ask you which emotions specifically keep coming back apart from the anger that we've already discussed?
Um, may maybe like sadness that I couldn't be protected and stuff. It was like I
Why
was
are you
left.
sad about that?
Um, when I was young, I had nights I was afraid to go to sleep for many years, and my father couldn't help me, and
Why?
he didn't know how to.
Okay. Why were you afraid to go to sleep? Because of the dreams?
Yeah.
Are you angry at your father because he couldn't help you?
Partially. He
Why?
always drunk, always on Oxycontin, or something, and he wasn't being my father. He was being someone else. And my mother wasn't there, and my grandma was there, but she was old school and didn't know what to do either. My father had me at 44, so he was a bit older. He died at 70.
What was your mother?
My mother was called Anne. She died at 48 years old, and she was born in 1965. She
Okay.
also was a drunk and a smoker.
Okay.
I lived in a smoke box for years,
Okay.
and I can never breathe fresh air. I basically was outside most of the time at the patio table because they were either yelling or smoking. And I didn't have a way, I didn't feel comfortable making my own money at the time because I didn't have a good relationship with people. I had trouble socializing in kindergarten. So it's like an amalgamation of a bunch of different psychological problems that I'm working on from a long time.
Well, darling, we got to let you go and move on to the next caller, but thanks for calling in again. It'd probably be a good idea for you to go back and listen to what we talked about in this session and start thinking of a different way of working on some of the things you got going.
Okay.
All right, darling. Thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
All right, Joe, let's give Isis a signal to unmute. Isis, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing today? Where are you calling from?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm calling from San Francisco.
Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Thank you. I want to talk about recently, I've been receiving communication, visuals, and imagery from a dragon society that's been training me on a physical level. And I was just wondering, there's so many different dragon clans, but this one specifically.
How long ago did the communication start?
Well, I do a little bit of spiritual work, and I met my brother's higher self. And then probably a couple of weeks later, I went into a meditation that led me to a really cool session where I was being trained by him on a large scale stadium where these dragons, they're humanoid looking, but they're from a dragon race. They can go back and forth. It's part of their style. And I recognized him. And then from there,
Is your brother still alive?
Yes, yes.
All right. So how long ago did it start? Not what started it. How many? A year ago? 6 months ago?
What started?
The communication, the general communication with the dragon.
With the dragon clan, I would say mostly this year. Yeah.
So before
I was just to complete. I was jogging and I saw myself in this arena, and I saw this figure. And when I work out, that's what tends to happen when I get more visuals. And then that's when I started the communication. But it was very slow.
Did you start it or did they start it?
They started it.
Okay. And
it was mutual a little bit, but I think they're the ones who put me in there at first.
Okay, yeah. I get how it works. So I'm going to ask you a couple things and try to delve down deeper. What do you do for a job?
I don't work currently as an income, normal 40 hours a week kind of job. Not right now.
What have you done in the past?
In the past, I've done nonprofit work, event planning work, work with people, mostly managing, supervising. Production.
How are you surviving without a job now?
Really awesome family members that are taking care of me. Yeah.
Right.
And I save some money. So.
Okay, you save some money. So you've got some money on the side that keeps you going.
Not anymore, but yeah. But it was, yeah. Right now, I'm totally being taken care of by family. Yeah.
Okay. And if you were to go back into work, what would you do?
That's been a bit of a difficult. I think that's why I haven't gotten a job. I'm laughing at myself. So I started a Shopify account because my friend and family members really want me to get into the spiritual work. And it's been probably more than a decade now of being asked to do it, but I didn't have any confidence in myself, and felt like I still have a lot to learn. But I've been enjoying the process of crossing that gap of my belief in myself, and then also just taking action. And so I'm getting closer and closer to it. And yeah, I developed this like Shopify page for myself. And so I'm hoping that'll launch sometime next week, and I'll be able to just talk about it and share it. And it's not a major money making thing. I just want to be able to have confidence in my abilities and support where I can.
So if you were to have a bigger type of job, what would you like to do? One that actually had a significant income to it.
I think it'd be along a guardian protector, mission oriented job.
What does that mean?
So it could be in the private sector where I'm bringing people together and creating community, and cross working with different types of, whether it's technology with.
What skill sets do you have that would allow you to be able to do that?
So I'm able to plan and manage and see into possibilities, like a bigger picture kind of scheme.
Okay.
Looking at
Is that
everything.
just something you've done your whole life, or is that a natural skill?
I believe it is a natural skill. I'm the first of my mom's 5 kids, and been able to do that for a lot of different aspects of my life. So I was in flight school, firefighting, and now I'm looking into my artwork and creativity and spiritual work. So I did EMT work.
Again, so originally you called in about the dragon clans, and I asked you about this other stuff. So two things are going on here. They are training you, but you're using it as an escapism, and you're not actually applying some of the greater teachings to the physical life of you being boots on the ground here. And eventually that communication is going to come to a crashing halt if you don't start acting in this world.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling.
You need to go back and review some of the things they've taught and trained you, because you're supposed to be using them here, not up there. And when I mean the door will come crashing shut, you won't be able to communicate with about a handful of jokesters until you start doing something here.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Sorry.
Continue. What I was going to say was the reason why there was a major halt in the initial coming to the training initiation was that my higher self kind of, and then my micro self here, the ego really went out. And
right, stop talking about detaching the higher and lower self. There's no
sorry. I'm trying to explain it to, obviously you understand
it's
that.
fine.
Sorry about
Unfortunately,
that. I'm used to talking to other people, but yeah, so what happened was that my ego was overinflated and needed to be put in check, and I was very embarrassed by that.
And it still is.
Yeah.
It's still keeping you unemployed, having burnt through all of your money.
I think I'm working on that. So I'm pretty much, I am.
A Shopify channel with some art is not going to provide you, short of a miracle to come through, with more than a few $100s a month at most.
Right.
I'm actually having a conversation with the groups that are working with you, and part of what their grander message to you is, you have to believe in yourself differently. You've believed in other parts of you that had a powerful force behind them, but ultimately that force would fade out, peter out, and you'd move on to something else to constantly tap into that force. You didn't have the energy to hold and maintain it inside you. And it's why these communications are coming to you while you're in high states of exercise. So I have 2 pieces of advice for you. If you want to continue the communication, you need to solidify your stance here in this world, which starts by getting anything that makes money that isn't illegal. Okay. And eventually you move into something that is more for you. And the second thing is, it would be really a good idea for you to take biathlon or triathlon training so that you can continue the forms of communications that you have.
Okay, so the ego is through the work of financial work, whatever, and then the tapping in would be the connection through the physical. So those are the two ways to tap in to this plan.
Those aren't guaranteed, though.
Yeah.
Those are not guaranteed. You've waited so long that let's say you start doing physical job work. You get yourself a job, you get yourself your Shopify channel, you got to start getting a little money in. The old aspects are going to challenge you again and again and again and again. For example, the ego, the multiple choices. You have to have laser focus and using that laser to cut out the ego's old way of divesting you into other subject matters. When I mean laser focused, I mean laser focused.
So I do find myself.
Do your job, move on.
Yeah, I do find myself falling into the trappings of my own comfort, all the time, and that is something significant for me recently.
Now, the next thing I want to adjust is escapism. Being out of work for so long has made escapism easy. Would you agree?
I've been out of work since since April. So
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so do you mean that I find reasons not to just get a job?
No, you find reasons to not be in this world and be in the other world.
Oh, interesting.
The
I do find myself in the
there.
brink of either one foot in and 1 foot out all the time with that. It's true.
Right. You can't live 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And you can't live all the way over there. You're not meant to live over there. You're meant to live over here. Okay. Now, there are ways for you to take what's working with you right now and to do something with it.
Okay.
Put together a notebook, a workbook, something that takes wisdom and makes wisdom learnable by others. Okay. But right now, I really think that laser focus, boots on the ground is the most important thing if you want to be able to continue these forms of communication.
Yeah, I hear you. You're saying training. Just start training.
You got to put yourself into, the eye of the tiger training here.
This is what
Every
I'm doing.
morning you wake up, you got to hear the Rocky theme song. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can I tell you one other thing that happened?
Sure.
I know you try to get everybody in. So while I was in Mexico, in my motherland, my grandparents' homeland, where they were born and raised, we don't go often, but we went. And one of the nights that I was there, the very second night, I woke up to a little brother, not my physical brother, but a scorpion brother who asked me if he could prick me. And at first I rejected him. And then I found that what he was trying to do was trying to change my frequency so that I could go deeper into inner earth. And I was reluctant, but like I said, I gave in because I felt it was the right thing to do. And I enjoyed the process. I went in, and where I ended up was with this clan of giant ants who I talk to often and take care of me. And I was sent to this elder ant queen who is retired, but she's an elder. And she was teaching me how to use, at a cellular level, just one cell, how to create energy from that.
Imagine if you could teach that here.
I would love that. That's exactly what I want.
What is the straight line journey to do that then? If you were to just put your logistical problem solving mind in, what is the straight line?
I wouldn't be calling you, Andrew. Honestly, I really need a cookie cutter structure help here. So just throw it at me so I can understand it.
You need to write. You need to take what's in your mind and convert it to English. So much of it is
I do write quite a bit in my journal.
Yeah, but you
I
don't
just don't
laser
type
focus.
it out and share it.
You don't laser focus. You are a
Laser
shotgun
focus.
spam writer. Okay?
Okay.
You're a mystic doodler. Okay?
Right. And I'm trying to become a mystic author.
Laser focused fit mystic. Okay?
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you don't have laser focused skill sets built into you.
I do not.
You don't. You have to earn them. You really have to earn them. Okay? And let me help you understand something. When beings like dragons and the ants communicate to you, it's not because when beings like the dragons or the ants communicate to you, it's not because you're here to save the world. You're here to bridge between the world.
Yeah. I know it's to support.
No,
There's
a bridge.
too much going on.
Like they don't eat donuts. What do they eat? Okay?
Yeah.
You're a cultural bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And some of these experiences are just for you. Part of the growing of trust experiences. Okay?
Yeah.
But getting back to the laser focused, you have to be willing to cut out the escapism part, to just go have fun with them, and to laser down and drill down. All right, today I'm talking to you about this because I've got to start laser focus writing skills on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
So one of the sorry, I lost train of thought. Someone in my house is making sound. So I don't know if you recall, I think it was last year I'd spoken to you and I had told you about the dream of the whale that I had, or the dolphin I had given birth to. And the energy that I work with in the spiritual world, you told me that I actually am doing. That was one of the few people that did do energy work, and what I was doing in that plane was happening.
And I said in this call, you are working with the dragons and you are working with the ants. You're just not at your maximum capacity. And right now you think you are.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure, just to clarify, I do not think that I'm even close.
Listen, I'm reading your energy. There's a part of you who's excited to all ends to have these forms of communication, and that excitement makes it top priority for your belief journey, which creates all other subconscious processes enforcing it.
Yeah, I get you. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the reality is, yes, you have these communications, but you need to do something with it and bridge wisdom from one world to wisdom from this world. And you need to be a wisdom translator. That's my best piece of advice for you when dealing with all the things you got going. I have confirmed you work with them. Now what?
Yeah.
Okay, now what?
The confirmation was, not as important as how to get to the next step.
I've already told you, laser focus.
No, right.
The physical body to the point where you work your body to extremes. Do high altitude training, do biathlon training, truly work the body, get large volumes of endorphin releases. You will amplify that laser focus communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It'll get to a point where you're running, 13, 15 kilometers at a time, and half of that time your brain will be in full communication with them, and you stop running, you won't remember half of what happened because it was such a high frequency communication. Okay?
Yeah.
But the more you tune your body, the more you will retain. Now understand something. Those communications are happening, and there's an encodement in your body that's waiting for you to pick up a pen and paper or a digital document and go and re-enter that running state or exercise state and channel it through the tips of the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a skill
Yeah.
you have to earn.
You just gave me a lot, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
One last thing I want to add is you're going to have to make a pretty significant diet change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, David, I want to bring you in here for a second. What can you recommend to her for somebody who's going to have to do like high level biathlon training, weight training, stuff to get the body moving?
My sense that this person that you're speaking to is not paying attention to her diet, and she's trying to avoid foods that ground her.
That's why I brought it up.
You're trying to avoid foods that ground you. There are two things that I want to say. The first is she's utilizing the training of the body to heighten her senses so that she can channel and communicate. There are consequences to that. So when you're not doing that, you're going to have to ingest carbohydrates, and preferably complex carbohydrates. Because if there's one thing we know about spiritual work of any kind of communication, it actually takes energy
Lots
from the
of
body.
it.
So you're going to have to actually eat complex carbohydrates. But I'm going to guess that she doesn't like feeling grounded, the heaviness of it. So I was listening, and she said that her ancestry is Mexican.
Yep.
The complex carbs that she's going to have to eat are few and far between based on her lineage. So may I suggest stuff like sweet potato might help her stay somewhere in between, not feeling grounded, but it's still a complex carb that breaks down in her system over a period of time. That's the first thing that I want to say. The second thing that I want to say is there's a certain amount of exhaustion that goes into all of what she's talking about. She's training, and if she's trying to maintain a connection, she's going to continually look to seek the training high. I would suggest to you that the reason why the training works both ways, yes, you could be training physically based on the communication you are receiving, but it's because your brain chemistry is attuning when you train. Now, there are other ways of achieving that communication that doesn't involve body exhaustion. So you have to be very careful with that. The reason why Andrew has suggested that you take a biathlon and triathlon training is because the chemistry between focus, joy, endorphins, it will give you the right cocktail of, well, how should I put this? Natural hormonal secretions to allow you to communicate in the way that you want and get those communications without totally exhausting your body or risking any kind of injury. Andrew, for her to get those things together as well, she is absolutely going to need food, which is complex carbohydrates and protein at the end of the day for repair.
Yep.
So complex carbohydrates in the middle of the day and protein at the end of the day for the repair function.
So would you suggest like she starts at like 80 to 90 grams of protein a day in the training?
It depends on what her body weight is. We didn't get that part.
Darlene, want to tell us a little bit about your body?
Yeah, I'm definitely overweight. I'm 170, 5'5". I'm 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you always been overweight?
No, I've always been lean.
What caused the overweight?
Injury during firefighting training. Yeah.
What did you injure?
My knee.
Okay.
Mhm.
How is your knee doing now?
It's still, it's not on the mend, but it's stronger and it's not in pain.
Okay. How does it help when you're running? Does it hurt?
I don't run that. No, it doesn't hurt. No.
What training are you doing right now?
Just low burn, long 30 to 2 hour walks or stretching right now. Mm-hmm.
What
right
part
now.
of what part of
Yeah.
the knee was damaged? Meniscus, ACL, what?
They said that nothing was damaged when I went to go get it checked, but I think it was the patella and the might be a lateral LCL. Yeah.
How did you injure it?
I listened to someone's poor advice. I was doing a barbell squat with a slight shift in an angle with my foot to get a different quad. And
You were trying to target the inner thigh,
the outer.
the outer thigh. So you
Yeah.
were pigeon-toed in a squat.
Pigeon-toed.
Toes pointing in.
Sorry, the opposite, pointing out. It was pointing out. Yeah.
So that would actually target the inner thigh, not the outer thigh. So you injured the knee because you went down. How far down did you go?
At that time, it was a few years ago, so it was pretty low. It was an Olympic weightlifting barbell squat.
How much weight was on that bar?
It was a long time ago, but I estimate it was over 100 pounds for sure at the time. I was at a good height in my training.
Okay.
So,
And so which knee was it that you damaged?
my right knee.
Okay. So did you hyperextend the knee over the toes? Is that what happened?
That could have been it, but what I did is instead of using my normal position, I pivoted outward just slightly.
Well, you are extremely lucky.
Yeah,
That
I
could
didn't
have been.
build up, I think was the issue. I just went straight for the highest that I had already been, trying
Okay.
a new angle.
Yeah, so you're extremely lucky because that could have been your back.
Well,
So my question is, right now you're doing high intensity walks, and you're doing it outdoors or you're doing it on a treadmill? What are you doing?
the concrete jungle, just moving around. Yeah, right now, just anywhere in the city.
Are you in pain right now?
No, I'm not.
You're totally fine?
As far as my knee, yes.
Okay. How much protein are you taking right now?
Very little, if almost none.
Mm. Why do you think you're not taking protein in? Because I know you know better.
Well, yeah. So I just got back from Mexico, and we had nothing but meat the entire time. So I needed a balance and doing more. I do. You know what? I'll take that back. I always forget that I actually eat more protein than I say. I have eggs and turkey, roasted turkey, maybe every 2 or 3 days.
How much did you eat today? Tell me what you had today.
Today, I don't eat until later, and I had a dental appointment, so a little different today. But I had a spinach plant protein shake.
When?
About a couple of hours ago.
What time is it where you are?
It's almost 5,
Okay.
and that was around 2:50. So yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make a suggestion to you. Swap it around in the middle of the day, put a carbohydrate meal in, and in the end of the day, put the protein meal. I mean, like that's the last thing that you're going to take at the end of the day. And the reason why I say that is because part of what you want to do is repair quickly. And you work with the body circadian rhythm, right?
Mhm.
Because you also want to preserve your communication that you are trying to do right now. So if you put the protein at the end of the day, when your body is going to shut down and start its repair processes, could you please give it the materials that it needs to actually fix you? That's a good idea. During the middle of the
Yeah.
day, you put in the
Yes.
carbohydrates because you also
Mhm.
want to drop some of that weight, if I'm not mistaken. And I get the feeling that if you do not drop the weight, frustration will begin to set in. Would that be correct?
Actually, I never have issues dropping weight, so it's
You
more of the
never.
stagnation cause
What
me
was your,
issues.
what was your lean weight when you were lean?
Oof. Okay, so I played soccer since I was 8 all the way to college, and I was normally a comfortable 135, 5'5",
Okay,
and very
losing 30, was roughly 30 pounds to lose.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
half of that should be converted into muscle.
How old are you right now?
38.
Yeah, you can lose that in 0 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you feel at being at your normal weight but 17 pounds more muscle?
That was my firefighter weight, and like mostly muscle is very big for my weight. I went from, I guess the best way to describe it, I'm sure you know, soccer is very lean and strong, while firefighting is like a football player. You know, you stock up and you do short bursts. So that was very harsh on my body. But I think if I do it in a healthy way, I would be very happy with that.
Okay. So,
She needs to switch the meals up.
yep, switch your meals up. You need to get back into the athletic journey that you've been on before. And this is all about to amplify the laser focused potentialities within you and relearning how to train the body so that the body has given you the right hormones, the right electrical activity to amplify this communication to not be generally escapism anymore, but wisdom translation from one world to this world. Okay? And then what you're going to learn is the more and more you get deeper into that mastering of the body, you'll be able to master the brain to fingertips mode of translating wisdom. Okay?
Yeah.
You go hand in hand with the more focus you get on the body, is the more focus you're going to get from the wisdom translations. It's going to come to you because you're going to have the right hormonal challenges and the right hormonal balances within you.
Yeah. Is it wrong to say that I already knew all this and still didn't listen?
No,
And then the other
not at all.
part, this is the ego. This is the ego. And then the other, and the other, and the other part is that
that's why I call myself. That's why I call myself Grandmaster of the Obvious, because I say things people should know already. Okay.
Yeah. And can I also admit some fear and trepidation of what's going to come? I'm excited, but yet fearful of how strong that energy will come in. And I think I just need to experience it instead of psyching myself out of it. So thank you.
The more you train your body, the easier the communication will be.
Okay.
The easier. You just have to remind yourself, I'm not doing this for escapism. I'm doing it as I am the wisdom translator. It's a mind state change for you. Okay?
Yeah.
And you master that mind state. I'm in wisdom translation mode. Okay? You will access whole different levels of your consciousness. Okay? When that starts to happen, that's when you're going to want to pick up rituals, ceremony, other spiritual practices that you can do while you're in your different forms of training.
Yeah. Heard. Sure.
One more thing for you to realize in this initial journey of out of where you are and into where you're going, all your programs are going to fight and fight hard. Okay. And this
I
is where
feel it already.
you got to turn on the warrior in you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is laser focus. Yep.
Yeah,
Hear
laser
you.
focused, and you got to beat those programs up, put them in their place, call them a bitch, and
Yeah.
kick them out.
Win, win, win.
Okay.
Yep. I hear you.
Do you have access to a swimming pool?
I can make that happen. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know anybody that's a good body worker?
Not recently, no. But
Right.
I could
That's something you're going to invest in, so you can work on the body. Because once you start biathlon training, you're going to want somebody to get some of those built up knots out and stuff like that. Somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to mentally create that for myself.
Yeah. And
the other thing,
flotation
sorry,
tank will also
go
be very, very great for you too.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I live with my brother now, the dragon. Just that's also something on my mind as a potential training partner. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Thanks for calling in. Call us
Yeah.
back in a month and tell us how things are going.
I will. Thank
Thanks a lot
you.
for coming in.
Thank you, David. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody, we are going to end this part of the show. We are going to be having our members show next. That will not be live. Only the members can be a part of it. If you are a member, you go into your email. There'll be a link there for you to get in there. And I look forward to seeing everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for another live show, but members show is next. David and Amy, I will send you guys the link too.